Oh my goodness, we are live and welcome everyone to the Transformational Storytellers show. It is Thursday and we are live and we have a special guest today. And I am so delighted to introduce her to you. She is amazing, of course. So,
Mm.
Lynda Allen, she is the creator of Make Your Mark in Life Learning Center and also of the Empowered Parent Experience. So, you are in for a joy. She has empowered families for over 5 decades, which I can't believe that looking at you. And she is definitely on a mission to transform how we perceive, care for, accept, and educate our learning different around the world. I will be sharing all of the ways in which you can connect with Lynda later, but let me just tell you, I have so much respect and admiration for this woman because of the work that she's done. And I am so proud that she's going to share her story from not accepted to self empowered that we published in the Gifts of Pain. Welcome, Lynda. I am so happy that you're here. You are amazing, like I said to everyone, but I have to say it directly to you. Hi, thank you
Thank
for being
you.
here.
Thank you, Lina. That felt so good. Thank you for
Oh,
introducing me that way.
oh,
I do
absolutely.
feel amazing.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, we all
So,
are.
yeah,
Anybody who comes into the transformational story space is amazing.
I
Thanks to you.
agree. I have to agree with that. And speaking of transformational, would you be willing to share your transformational story with everyone so that they know about you and your journey?
Absolutely. I'm going to read it.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that.
So, as Alina said, my title is From Not Accepted to Self Empowered. You liar. You're a kike. You're a bagel. I was in ninth grade, standing outside the doors of my high school, when my year younger sister walked up to me as my heartthrob John and I were passionately making up. When he saw the Jewish star pendant around her neck, he angrily pushed me away and cursed at me loudly. I was shocked. It brought back a memory of being called a Jew bastard as I was punched in the stomach by a neighborhood boy. This embarrassing rejection, though, hurt so much more. These and many other memories of being treated with disrespect and disregard caused me to see myself as one who did not belong, would never succeed, or would never be accepted because of simply being born into a Jewish family. After learning how other born different children were shunned by society and witnessing them being bullied and eager to feel better myself, I poured myself into helping these families feel accepted for their unique selves and gain access to resources and support. This became my life's mission in my entire career. Through my work for over 50 years, I realized I gave to others what I needed myself: acceptance, understanding, and self empowerment. When we help another, we get all that we give and then some. When we offer love, we feel even more love in return. My vision has always been to make a difference for the different. Today, my work involves empowering parents to see their invaluable role in unleashing their learning different child's greatest potential and best life. When unwanted feelings come up, reach out to another in need. Help them see that they are not alone. They're a good person and that this too shall pass. Soon they will be their empowered self again, and so will you.
Ah, oh my goodness, I feel all the feels, and I'm sure everyone who's tuning in right now, I see some people that are live on Facebook. I was tearing up just thinking about that little girl who was so deeply hurt, and the realities that didn't stop there. It is still happening, and it was the beginning or one moment in a long journey of discrimination and abuse. And I am so sad that this happened to you and that this happens to so many around the world in our society, and that that is still plaguing us today. Such a hard story to stomach. You know, when you talked about being punched in the stomach, it's like I felt it in mine. Thank you for being so vulnerable, Linda. Thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for pouring your heart onto the people and the causes, as I know you volunteer a lot, that matter for those who feel alone and different and discriminated against and excluded from the simple joys and rights of society. I appreciate you more than you know. And
Mm.
I it's been a while since I told you, but I it's always been present in my heart. And why do you share your story? What led you to share this particular story in the gifts of pain? And why do you think that sharing these types of stories, especially with such strong words and language that we know about, but we don't sometimes utter it. It's really hard to see this in plain language sometimes because we kind of keep it to ourselves. So tell me about that. Tell us about that.
So this has been a life-changing moment. And like you said, Alina, these things happen to people every day. And as we know, in all the personal growth that we have learned and that we study ourselves to become the best that we could be for ourselves and others, I really believe that everything happens for a reason. And even though this really hurt me, that didn't hurt as much as when I was about 12 and there was this film that came on TV that showed the largest institution for mentally and physically defective children in the state of New York, where I lived at the time. And I watched this secretly made film. That's what it was. It was a secretly made documentary that turned me on to understanding that what I was seeing was only on the surface. The way we treated people who were different, which is no different than the way we treat people now. We're
Yeah.
not comfortable with people who are different. And especially in this day and age, luckily back then there was enough special needs children, handicapped children that were able to, by the way, by parents coming forward, they were able to say, this is not okay. And a law came into effect in 1975 that it was the Education for All Handicapped Children Act, signed in by President Gerald Ford. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
And meanwhile, this had been going on for so long. That was spurring me on. Well, when I watched that film, and I was only like 12, when I watched that film, I started volunteering then and found that there were so many children being taken care of at home and not being told that this was the only thing for them.
Mhm.
And in my heart of hearts, I knew when I was 5, I was supposed to be a teacher. But after I saw that, I knew I was supposed to make a difference. And within a very short amount of time, I got into college because of like 5,000 hours of volunteer work. And I had this vision of how it could be different. And so for the last 5 decades, I've been working on that right now. And now what's so exciting is that definition of learning different has changed so much because now we know, now people are really truly understanding that everybody has a different working brain. So we therefore learn differently. And
Mhm.
so those of us who are doing TEDx talks and writing books and adding our chapter and our message in here, we have this amazingly different brain. And those are the children that need that help even more. So my mission, I know now, is it's about empowering parents. It's not about what I can do because I can't change the world. But I could sure change the world for learning different children by truly empowering their parents. And I have a vision to do that around the world.
Oh,
So this was such a big part for me to be able to do this. It was such a good start.
oh, so powerful. I want to highlight what you said about, how much this hurt and then turning that pain in that moment in time when you saw the film into a vision. And I think that's something that we can all hang on to as a nugget from this interview and conversation is that our pain can lead us to a vision of what's possible on, okay, this hurts a lot, and here's how we would look if we changed it. And I think that when we come from a space of vision, and I always talk about that in my talks and in my presentations and keynotes, is that when we go from fear to vision, we create hope. And that's what I feel that this story represents for many people who are probably hopeless, thinking, when is this going to end? It's been, you know centuries, right, of discrimination and of oppression and exclusion, and our children are still suffering. And and I think that a lot of people are still misunderstood and stereotyped and put in a box, no matter what the label is on that box. And so thank you for the work that you do. And I want to explore more of that. Like, what is the work that you do? How can people work with you? How can they benefit from what you do in the world? What are the projects right now? You mentioned TEDx, so tell us a little bit about that too. How can people tap into the goodness that you're involved in?
I'm so thrilled to be able to tell you about this. It has been a kind of an interesting new journey for me. I've never had the problem of finding families that I could support. And so I've worked in every sector. I've created my own nonprofits. I've worked for other nonprofits. I've assisted other people in doing this work. For the last 20 or so years, though, I settled down for me and I instead of moving every couple of years, and I settled down and I started my uh, Make Your Mark in Life Learning Center. And I started working primarily with kids that were really learning different that people didn't notice.
Mm,
And one by one, I was able to really show not only the kids, but the parents that it really didn't take much. You didn't have to be a trained educator to empower your child.
yeah.
And the difference was phenomenal. And during the pandemic, I said, I've got to reach more families. How do I do that? So I've been on this mission to be able to take this vision bigger. And what I realized was that every one of us that have children, we go through a couple of decades of education for our children, right? And that is the most difficult. And that is also where we all have the same information, the same needs, the same challenges in helping others recognize our children for the gifts that they have, the talents they have, the smarts they have, even if they're not demonstrating it in the way of other that others do. So that's where I got this tickle, this strong message. You've got to help parents truly be empowered. When I was learning how to be, I was one of the first special education teachers, and I was one of the first in the nation to be an early intervention specialist. And they used to tell me that empowerment meant that I was able to teach parents what to do with their children, like
Mm,
a therapist, like me, like
mm,
an educator, like me.
mhm,
That never made sense to me. And what I've realized over time is that parents are so hurting, so shamed, so rejected, so treated so poorly by the society that says that this is what should happen for their children. And what my idea is to help them really come into their own empowerment. So my program is not about providing more services to their children. It's about them learning what they want, what's their dream role in their child's life, and how do they become empowered to really do that? And how do they create a team of people? Because it takes a village to raise a child, especially if your child is unique and differently learning. So, towards that, I have a book coming out called I Am an Empowered Parent, creating the best education experience for my learning different child. I have it on an online course. I have weekly chats and support group meetings on every social media. And I just did a TEDx talk that's going to be released before the end of the that's called See It Differently, Change Your Learning Different Child's Life. And my goal is to literally help, like Lina said, change how we perceive, care for, accept, and educate learning different people around the world. And the way I'm going to my my culminating thought for that is parents need to be with other parents.
mm.
And I want to create parent villages
Okay.
around the world. And I've got my first one happening in Kenya.
Ah! Oh my
Yes, we have a program I'm helping create there. It's called Neuro Bloom Kenya. And we have a parent village. And so
yes.
that's how we're spreading this message. But I sure do need, it was easy to set up a tutoring center. I've always been known in my community for helping kids. So, but trying to get the word around. And here's the final thing I want to say about this word acceptance and how that leads into this whole challenge of accepting people who are different. What occurred to me, the way I got this vision was I thought, everybody has a child that they love. Everyone has a child. It doesn't have to even be their child, but they have a child that they love that is very unique, that learns differently, that they know is they're not getting all that they could get in support. And I thought, if I could convince parents to accept are bright and quirky, our special needs, our disabled, whatever words we use to describe them, are challenged, right? If I can get them to accept children that they would not normally accept, what else are we creating in people's minds to accept people of different cultures, people with different lifestyles, people who think differently? Because everyone loves a child.
Absolutely. Oh, this is so good. I mean, everyone loves a child, and yet there's a disconnect to associate that we are all children. We
Yes.
who grew up a little bit, had a little bit of experience being a child, many years of experience, but it's very insightful what you shared. And I love that, definitely love the Kenya project, the Neuro Bloom Kenya project, and the work that you're doing. I have ancestors from Kenya, so that is really near and dear to my heart. And one thing that I want to highlight, because I know that many positive moms follow this page and my platform, is that I love the fact that you are empowering parents, that they can be empowered, not that this is something that comes from you, but it comes from themselves. So it is a very beautiful distinction to make, because I think that as we embrace and accept people who learn, think, and do life differently, that we can also understand that they have their potential to be their empowered self. So I am an empowered parent. I mean, there's a book title that's worth gold, and we I am going to be able to share it with our audience as soon as it's live. Please let us know so that I can tell everyone, because now we told them about it and now we're like, don't have it right now. So I promise that
It's coming.
it's
It's in the
coming.
final publication
Yeah.
effort.
Yes, and we will let you know, because Lynda is a member of the Transformational Storytellers community, and we appreciate and love her work, and it is so important, especially because the thing to recognize is that even though, like you said, there are many labels for people and children, we are all different. And so this is for everyone who has any child to become an empowered parent. So that's fantastic. And I can see why the work and the projects that you're doing right now are so important for that evolving, for that evolution of your work. And so we are out of time, which I
It
can't
went so
believe
fast.
it. I can't believe it. I could talk to you for 10 hours. And so what is one step that our audience can take to care for and accept and love and educate and empower a child in their lives? I think that that would be a good start to what you want to see in the world. What would that be, Linda?
Hmm. It's like trying to come up with my one message for the worth sharing on a TEDx talk.
Yes.
You know, I think the biggest thing that I do for parents that helps them see what empowerment could look like is I ask them to consider and I show them how to change their mindset about what they believe
Mm,
what they think, what they feel, what they think they know about being a parent, about learning, about this world that we're living in and raising our kids in. That if we could be just willing, just curious,
mm,
open, and trusting
mm.
that there's another way, not only will they change their lives, but they will change the lives of everyone that they touch,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Ooh. That was good. Thank you, Linda. I honor you. Thank you for your time today. Thank you for the wisdom that you shared, for the vulnerable story. And I want to invite everyone to look Linda up. So it's Lynda Sloan Allen. She's on every social platform, like she let you know. Her TEDx talk is coming out. Her book, I Am an Empowered Parent, is coming out soon. And I will post all of the info in the show notes, so stay tuned for that. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you so much, Elena. And
Oh,
thank you, everybody.
yes, and
I'm
see,
coming back now that I've got my stuff happening. I'll be back in the Transformational Storytellers group. Coming
yes,
back.
we love you. All
I
right,
love you
everybody.
too.
Oh, I received that. Everybody, see you next time on the Transformational Storyteller Show. Mwah.